Hey, hey,
Hey, how
Tom.
you doing there,
All right,
Matt?
we got
Yeah,
Michael.
Michael.
Well, we're still waiting on Rodney, and I didn't know if you'd get here on time because we had some technical
So you guys are the emergency crew.
yeah.
It's nice
We
to
were
have.
all in emergency a while ago.
Well, it's actually a good thing we had some technical difficulties because I called Rodney to let him know to go to the second email, and he was dead asleep.
Right. So God works everything together for the
Yes,
good of those who are.
yeah.
So
He,
Christian
he'll
is
be
mine.
he'll be jumping in pretty soon.
good. Well, we'll vamp until he does. It's good to
Yeah.
see you, Tom. I'm gonna say hi and bye to you, Tom, because you're gonna disappear at some point.
Yep, definitely. Good to see you, Michael.
Good to see you, sir. Pray for me. I'm just going to say this here. I mean, before Rodney comes, I've got a big meeting today. And if you are inclined to pray at 10 a.m. Pacific time, whatever time that is, are you guys both in the Eastern time zone?
Yeah.
Yes, that's 1 o'clock.
Yes, around 1. And I imagine it'll be an hour-long meeting. So if you could just set aside a whole hour to pray, just kidding. Just pray. I'm meeting with lawyers. That's always interesting. But these are friendlies, right? These are big guns, very, very friendly to me and my mission. And basically, it's one lawyer filling in another lawyer on the history of my project, and the lawyer that's being filled in is big guns in Hollywood. Like, she is connected in intellectual property domain, right? She while I was talking to her on the phone yesterday, she knows she had a TV on muted, in her office, or maybe she was working from home. And while we're talking, she goes, "Oh, there's one of my clients talking to the news." Like,
Oh,
this is
wow.
something I just advised them on, and they're talking to the news. Oh, what do you know? I'm sorry, volumes. I didn't mean to be distracted. Volumes down, but so she had like a perk. Oh, okay, good. And I was like, oh, and she can't disclose the name of her clients, but she did go, oh, this is a Christian client. So this is a high power, super big gun attorney in Hollywood who loves Jesus. So it's like God gave me, and the story of how I came across her is one of those miracle things. She happens to be friends with another person that's associated with my project, a high level producer that I didn't find her through him. I just met her and said, this is what I'm working on. And by the way, this producer has also attached to my project. And she goes, oh, I'm good friends with him. So, a high level Christian producer in Hollywood. And when I say Christian, not producer of Christian content, I'm talking X-Men kind of stuff, right? So Planet of the Apes kind of stuff. And that's a Christian guy. So
Great
Well,
news.
pray for those lawyers.
I think we should tell you the story about the technical difficulties we had.
All right, do it.
I was training Tom on StreamYard, right? And I was telling him, I was like, let's go for a practice run. Well, I think he assumed that he was going to go live on this practice run.
I saw that live button. I said, we're going live.
Boom. And that's a good object lesson, right?
Yeah. I was like, just, oh no. And I hit end broadcast, and then I started running all over the place and getting everything back up and going. And some links out.
Well, you know what? We look at those things and go, oh man, I can't believe I did that. But they happen. It's good, right? It's good that it happens so you can learn what you got to do when that happens, right?
That's called trial and error.
Trial and error. It's one of the ways that we learn and never forget, right? Hopefully, ideally. And I didn't know that either, because when we first started, I'm like, you can't record or go live and then stop and continue. No, it's over, right? You can stop and still. You can stop and still talk, but you can't go live again. You have to set up a whole new link, whatever. Yeah.
When we got back in here, I was like, all right, when I say practice run, I want you to hit the intro and then add me and you behind it. It just cracked. At the time, I was panicking because I had to get stuff done within 6 minutes and get Rodney called and everything. I was like, oh no.
Well, it's good that it happened. It didn't happen like 1 minute before.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. Well, all I have to do now is end the broadcast. Now I end the broadcast.
You don't push that button yet.
Now.
I have to jump out in about 5-10 minutes. I have to go to doctor's appointment.
All right. Well,
it's an all day thing.
Thanks for the warning. So Tom is at the helm here. He's got the reins.
I'm the producer.
So producer Tom. All right. We're going to call you producer Tom now. So producer Tom. So did you see me pop in and you brought me in, or did Matt bring me in?
I think Matt brought you in.
Yeah.
So you're both I'm learning it while you're both at the helm. You both have control. But do you have equal controls, or how does this work?
It's equal.
Okay, cool. So anything, you can both do anything. So Tom can totally mess things up. No, just kidding.
Really?
So what do you think Rodney's doing right now? You think he's back asleep? He's like,
No.
Yeah,
I think he's. Well, I've noticed with some people they have problem with technology, and my guess is he's probably having headaches with his computer again.
You don't think he's just like brushing his teeth and doing his hair?
Maybe. I don't know.
He's probably rubbing his eyes, make sure they don't look puffy.
Yeah.
Getting the eye boogers out and washing his face. Well, Tom, it is good to see you.
Yeah, I apologize for not going to the meetings on Tuesday night. I got to say those things are awfully long. I got to say those things go quite a while. I will get back into it. Plus 8 o'clock my time. You guys are at the West Coast. That's rough for me.
Yeah, it gets later and later. Let me just say, for your information, we are changing the format of those. So we are not doing let's go around the circle and let everybody talk anymore, right? It's business, right? Those meetings, it's a nice social gathering because I see people I don't get to see. That's the only place I see them on a weekly basis, and I want to get caught up on them, but that's not the purpose of it. So
no.
For your information, that don't worry about getting stuck in there for an hour and a half or 2 hours, right? Which they have been, right, at times.
Yes,
we're trying to keep them under an hour and even shorter now, and so your fears are allayed. But it is late for you guys on the East Coast. So
I'm
kind of a night owl anyway, so I go to bed around 11. So it's not that bad for me.
Matt. That's ideal.
Yeah.
So I go to bed around 2 a.m. your time. I go to bed around 11 as well. And so the other day, sorry, hello everyone. Hello. I need to go in the comment section and see if anybody's, put to sleep by our chatter here. Hold on. Oh, Mom saying, glad I'm not at those controls. Yeah, Mom, we're not putting those controls anywhere near you.
Mom in control.
I tell you this, I put William in my StreamYard when we do live. I give him control, and he started hitting all sorts of buttons right here where we're floating all over the place.
He's playing with it.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm getting dizzy. You need to stop that.
That's fun. No, as long as he's not hitting stop the recording or whatever.
No, he was just hitting all the if we want to change and be big and stuff like that. He's just hitting all sorts of stuff down there. It just cracked me up.
All right, Carrie is saying, what is Carrie? Miracle Mom and Michael went away too fast yesterday. Oh, yeah. So I think Carrie or Urek. I just every time I see it, I'm like, I don't know how to say it. Carrie or Urek says that I think she's referring to yesterday's episode because Wednesdays it's me and Mom, and time just flies. Time flies in all of these episodes. But when my mom and I can talk literally for 2 hours at the drop of a hat, like just talk and talk and talk and talk, and that. So our Wednesday conversations are kind of a tease for me. I'm like, I wish I didn't have to go to work right now, Mom. We just keep talking. But I'm glad people enjoy listening in on Mom and I. Tom, do you have anybody in your life like that you just can just chatter with nonstop. And
Oh yeah,
time
my
flies.
mom was like that. My mom passed away at 95, and she could chat on and on and on. She was of that generation that liked doing that. They talk. It almost talk too much in a way, because sometimes you go around in circles with that stuff.
Oh, Matt's still waving goodbye. He's out.
Oh,
He's
Matt,
got to go. It's me and you,
oh,
Tom.
jeez. Wow.
Pressure's on. No.
Talk about putting what's the subject, Michael? We don't even have a subject.
Well, okay. Since Rodney's probably coming in here, let's talk about Rodney.
Yeah, that'll get him in here faster. Yeah.
Yeah, his ears will be ringing. Rodney, I love Rodney to death. Do you know how Rodney came to us, to our network?
No.
Neither do I. Darn. Just kidding. No. You know Dave from Cali, or
that rings a bell. Yep.
Yeah. He's one of our behind the scenes guys. He met Rodney in person at something. I think they met in person at some event in California, and Dave had the presence of mind to just, hey, would you be interested in being a guest on this, our network, on this one show? And Rodney was like, sure. And man, what a breath of fresh air Rodney is. If he's been on about 5 times, I think, 4 or 5 episodes.
I've got a few. Yes. Yeah.
And he's like that. He can talk. In fact, we didn't notify him on the first episode. We did not notify him that it was a half-hour show. And so he was just getting warmed up. I was having to cut him off, saying, we only have like 3 minutes left. And he goes, oh, what? I could tell that this guy's just full of stories. So I was happy to have him back, and even happier that he was happy to come back. Right. So, I got a proposal for him today. If he shows up, I'm not gonna jump the gun here, but I have a proposal that I'm gonna make to him on the show when he shows up. If he shows up, if he doesn't show up, if he doesn't show up, I'll make it off the air, and I'll just call him and say, hey, Rodney, what do you think of this? But that's a tease. That's a tease for y'all. Tom, here's another thing about Rodney. We have not broached politics in those 5 episodes.
Yeah.
We've kind of
more an interest in his experience with Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, I remember Blazing Saddles, Jack in the Box commercial, stuff like that. Like his childhood acting career. But in our last conversation, we did get into Jesus. We did get into the religion talk, and I was pleasantly surprised to hear him speaking the same language. Speaking positively about our Lord, and he even talked about when he was like 18 in high school. I think a senior in high school. One of his friends was a really strong Christian, and said, we're not going to the homecoming dance. We're going to go and stand outside and preach Jesus, like witness to the kids coming out of the dance, or something like that. Yeah. And I love that he shared that story. So we have common ground in that regard. And so it makes me nervous. The political talk makes me nervous with people that I don't know, right? If I don't know. Oh, wait, hold on. You got to keep an eye on making sure he's there.
Yeah, I'm looking around. No,
All
it's just Matt and Gina and you and I. That's it.
All right. I don't want to talk about him in his hearing, of course.
No, he won't want to come on.
No, but what I'd like, here's what I hope transpires. We'll see if it happens. I'd like, bear with me, I'd like for him to be a little more on the left, yet happy to discuss openly with somebody who's not, right? Because we're in an environment right now that the two sides, it seems like, can't even talk to each other, right? We have Republicans trying to reach across the aisle, just trying to talk rationally. And we have a lot of Democrats waking up and saying, wait a minute, my party left me, right? You have Democrats saying my party's doing crazy things that I don't condone, or I don't endorse, or I don't believe. but it doesn't seem like there's much actual dialogue. And so, I mean, obviously, I'd rather him be on the right? I'd rather him be, but if he is somewhat on the left, I hope that he's open to discussing things civilly. Now, I'm not
Civilly.
going to.
That's a big word. Yeah, civilly.
Civility.
Under the collar with that when you bring up stuff like that.
Yeah.
Uh,
The only hint I have of his political leanings is when he mentioned the Ukraine. He mentioned how, devastating what happened. Russia's attack on certain regions in Ukraine, and his initial response was like, why can't NATO, why can't our government go in and stop that, or something like that, and so it's like that indicated to me that he's hearing stuff from one point of view, but it didn't go any further than that. We didn't really pursue it. I talked about another war that that's happened recently that nobody. Actually, let's go in that direction while we're talking. What do you know about Armenia?
just from what you tell me, you have filled me in on a lot of the Armenian genocide, and looking very much forward to that documentary that you're coming out with, as I think a lot of other people are. Sounds very fascinating. And that dovetails with what is going on in Ukraine in kind of an oblique way.
I'm glad you pick up on that. That part of the world, because Armenia, Turkey, Azerbaijan, Serbia, Yugoslavia, or formerly Yugoslavia, like that region of the world. I mean, Ukraine is right there, right above some of those countries, next to some of those countries. That part of the world, we are woefully ignorant here in the United States. Look who's here.
Hi, Rodney.
All right.
How are you?
Unmute him.
How are you?
Oh, yeah. Look at you. You went and jumped in the shower and brushed your teeth and washed your face. You got dressed.
Gotta get it going.
Looking good. Looking sharp.
Well,
You
we're
look good.
here. We're here. Sorry for the late entry. It was these crazy phones and everything that just wasn't
Yes.
syncing here. So
No, I get it. You are forgiven. You're forgiven ahead of time. No problem.
wonderful. That's a good thing.
Well, if you see the clock, we have 12 minutes exactly left.
Okay.
And so I have I think Matt hinted at it, but I have a question for you, a proposal.
Sure.
So here we have this half-hour show, 5 days a week. It's 5 days a week. We have a half-hour show, and you've been a guest, I think 5 times.
I have
4 or 5 times.
Okay.
And it has just been so natural and flowing so well. And I always feel bad about having to cut you off because the clock is got up against a hard out. And, it just occurred to me, because it's a lot for me to be here, because I do a Bible every morning show at 8:00 Pacific time. And then here at 8:30, we do the chat session and we have guests and talk.
Right.
And also have a full-time job and have a family and all kinds of stuff going on.
Right.
And I was feeling like I would like to get some guests who have been on the show, if they want to actually host a half hour.
Okay.
And I have now.
Sure.
For Thursdays, this slot that we're in right now.
Okay.
I filled the Monday slot. I got a guy doing Mondays.
Okay.
I got another person doing Tuesdays. I'm going to keep with Wednesdays. My mom and I do Wednesdays. And I have another guy on Fridays that I may keep, that I have a co-host on Fridays. So me and a co-host, actually Wednesdays and Fridays is me and my mom always. And then Fridays is me and this other guy. And for Thursdays, I've had this regular recurring guest, a guy named Jefferson. Actually, it's 2 recurring guests, a guy named Jefferson and Joel. And then we have other personalities on our network. And so you are at the top of my list. And I thought of these 2 other people. And I was thinking, I'm going to run this by you.
Okay.
If you're the first one I'm offering, I'm making an offer. there's no contract, no money involved, right? This is just
right.
This is just, we the people just getting our voice out there, having conversations and enjoying one another, and taking advantage of the technology at our fingertips, right?
Heck yeah.
And I was thinking of you and two other people. If you could be the
Thursday
equal co-host of the Thursdays. And these are people you've never met, but I think you'll love them.
Sure.
And I'm not going to say, well, Jefferson, who's normally one of my guests on Thursdays, is one that I haven't talked to yet. So I'm saying this. He's never heard this. You're the first one to hear it.
I'm taking notes.
And so here's my thought, that you don't all three have to be there every Thursday, but you could start with all three of you. Mom's on your side. Mom's pitching Rodney.
Yeah.
You could. It will be up to the three of you to decide whether you do a rotation, whether you are guests and interview each other, because you're going to need to get to know each other.
Sure.
And so it may be you're all on all the time, or maybe you're the main guy and they rotate through, or you guys discuss among yourselves. Is this something that appeals to you? Would you like to be a regular on Thursdays?
Well, I've been literally trying to get situated to kind of plant somewhere. I literally have a contract that's sitting on a desk next to me, and I had been planning on cranking up my own podcast show or having some consistency. So yeah, I'm more than open to it, especially with good people like you, and you got a great engineer, and the fact that we're going somewhere. I mean, I would be starting from scratch, but it seems that you've got a system and you got somebody that's giving you a little assistance. I was like a one-man band trying to engineer and do all this other funny stuff, and it takes that takes a little bit of getting used to. But I'm very interested, because you have a very button-up show. You have subject matter that matters, and that's the type of talk that I would want to do if I'm doing anything. Yeah,
you hold your own, dude. I love listening to you talk, and I'm like a huge Rodney Allen Rippy fan.
Well, I appreciate it.
So this will be Thursdays with Rodney and so and so and so and so.
Okay,
we'll figure it out. But
sure,
one of the beauties, let me just tell you, one of the beauties of having other co-hosts, right? People, because I've done a show in the past where I had a co-host, and there were times when I couldn't make it and the co-host handles it all. And so these two other people, if they both agree, and they may not, but if they both agree, you will fall in love with them, and you guys will determine what subject matter you talk about, and it'll be but the beauty, like you were saying, is coming into something already established makes it easier on you. Like a year ago it was just me, just like I would have to do it all myself. And now I have a team, like people that send me the link, like that send you the link. Like they send me the link the same way as they send you. And I click in, and they handle the back end. They put the things on the different platforms that we have. And it's just like, I can't believe this thing is growing like this. It's a steady growth. But
I bet.
With people like you wanting to be a part of it, it's just a good sign, right? So
yes, of course. Sounds good.
Well, we're down to 6 minutes left already, right? You got all dressed up for
wow.
What's going on in your life? I'm going to turn the rest over to you this last few minutes.
I think that everything is going really, really well. And I actually have a person that's in town that is starting a new NFT platform. And so I've been kind of bouncing around with this person and making introductions. And so, but that's a whole Wild West world. But a lot of people are moving into
NFTs.
The NFT space and music licensing and things
non-fungible
like that.
token.
Yeah. Boy, it sounds like a Twilight Zone thing, but apparently it is doing very well for people that are properly situated. So just trying to learn to navigate those waters.
Yeah, it's like people that are established with some, whether they're a musician or I have a friend who's an animator. He's a cartoonist, and he did a ton of NFTs in the past year.
Wow.
and it's like because he has a name, he has like a couple successful projects, and so he has a name, and so because of his profile, right, of his reputation, his NFTs automatically have a certain value to them.
Wow,
you know?
That's good. Well, and also too, August, from what I just found out, is Black Business Month. So all across America, small and medium-sized businesses are encouraged, and people are encouraged to go out into their communities and actually engage with or shop or support Black-owned businesses. So this was something that it's running on all the national news channels and everything like that. And so pretty interesting thing. And
has it been, has August, is this new, or has it been
apparently, you know, it was funny. This was like one of the first times that it became such major headlines, because you see these stories that they're running that August is Black Business Month. And I'm thinking like, well, I think it should be August should be American business, small businesses grinding month, because that's a whole lot of small businesses are grinding, like mine, small Rodney Rippy business grinding. But sparks are flying and we're still moving ahead with it.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
I like that.
Yep.
Sparks flying. We're pushing this thing forward and
nothing's
gonna hold us back.
Push it till sparks fly, man. I'm telling you.
A friend of mine, actually, you just reminded me, and I hope I can remember the things that he said. A friend of mine who is actually a very, I don't want to name drop, but he's an A-list producer in town in Hollywood that is a friend of mine, lives down the street. And I was at his Beverly Hills office one day.
Nice.
I couldn't believe it, right? I'm sitting there, wow, like my head is spinning in the heart of this beast. But he said, because he knows the project I'm working on and is very interested in its success, and that's good, right? Once I get it to a certain point, he wants to be involved. But he said there's this book he read, and I forget what it's called. I think it might be called like Grit. And there were 3 characteristics of successful people. It's like, well, I'm gonna have to find the book, and next time I talk to you, if I can't, it's like intelligence, creativity, and persistence, right? Persistence. He says persistence is key. You're not going to succeed unless you have that one, the persistence. It's like just non-stop go, you know, the no holds barred, nothing's going to hold me back. Right. So dream big.
Well, I look forward to being with you and your wonderful team on Thursdays. This is going to be fun. And it'll be something that I can put out on all my social media and say, hey, boy, you hadn't heard such great talk. You better go here.
All right.
Yep.
Check these people out. So you will be free to bring in guests, anybody you want to bring in, and we can provide guests if you need them. I mean, obviously, if these other 2 people are interested in being in on the team, you will want to get to know them, but you're all open to bringing in your own guests. So,
and so this would start like next Thursday?
Next Thursday.
Oh, wow. Next Thursday. I like it. I can have a schedule that I can plan for. That'll be great.
And what I'll do is I'll contact these 2 people. I'm not going to disclose their names here yet. If they say no, then no. But if they say yes, I'll connect you guys via email. And
please, that'll be great.
You guys will have your
new
little happy family. You're getting thrown into the mix here, Rodney.
Hey, I love it. Well, at least it's a good soup. You know, Mom always put the best stuff in the soup. So if I'm in a good soup, I'm good.
Well, I'm glad you feel that way about what we're doing here, Rodney. It's one of those confirming things. You know, sometimes you question, well, what am I doing? Am I doing it right? I know I know I'm doing what I should be doing, but am I doing it right? And for you to feel that way, to want to be here as a permanent fixture, it brings joy to my heart. Let's just put it that way. And you and I are of the same generation. You're like a year older than me, so yeah,
it's amazing.
And usually the oldest one around.
And when you look at things around us, you go, man, we got to pull it together. We're you know.
Speaking of pull it together, it will be your job or your team's job to look at the clock. And we are 2 seconds away. We are done. Rodney, say goodbye to everybody. See you next week. It'll be Rodney and team.
See you, gang. Bye-bye.
All right, Tom, you can cut the feed now. We have producer Tom.